Hi guys! Thanks for clicking on my video. This little, not so little adventure is nearing its end, so I'm starting to feel slightly bittersweet. The Inktober prompt for today is massive, and all I can come up with is what a massive learning curve this adventure has been. I've tried to share the ups and downs, but I'm not sure if they all came across. Fittingly, on this massive adventure, we're doing Oasis by Tomas Padros today. There are 3 fully decked out Instagram tutorials that I've linked below. If you have a minute or an hour, I would highly recommend taking a stroll through Tomas's Instagram posts, because his pattern introduction posts are so comprehensive. It's a joy to behold, if you have the proper time to appreciate them. While I was going through his Instagram, I was getting a nostalgic feel, and coming up with lines like, "Tomas is the only creator to have featured twice this Inktober." However, when I went back to see which other day his Cangular pattern featured, I realized that it wasn't. It was just one of the bonus patterns that inspired Sunbolt on day 4. So I'm thrilled to be properly presenting one of his patterns to you today. You will see from the 3 links below that Oasis is an almost overwhelmingly versatile little number. Besides all the different ways you can embellish it, you can do it as a ribbon, a grid, or in the round, thanks to Tomas's easy breakdowns. I actually feel like I could do 3 different videos today, but I'm still testing the knowing when to stop button, so you get a 3-in-1. Let's start with his first presentation of Oasis as a ribbon pattern. Oasis was actually created for his Oasis Zentagling group and designed specifically for that class, which is why, if you get a chance to go through Tomas's Instagram, you'll see Oasis pop up fairly regularly. It also made finding the 2 previous posts slightly challenging, but extremely worth the hunt. Just a heads up, today's drinking game will be on, but also not, so strap in and let's get going. Start with a teardrop and give it a tiny fishy tail. I'm going to stick with Tomas's own terminology here just to keep things clear. The teardrop should be the dominant shape, taking up 7/8 of the space, while the flares, or the tail, take up the last 1/8. But also not. You could choose to make either the tail or the drop bigger, or smaller. Now flip it over and do another one with a gap next to the first. The second should be the same as the first, but could also not be. It should also be in line with the first, but could also not be. It should also be the same size, but also could not be. I'm going to have to resurrect the old "you do you" line. Luckily, there is only one more step once you've filled your space with alternating flared tiers. Hey, I found a rule you can't break for this pattern to work. And actually, here comes a second. Complete the ribbon by joining the flare to the top of the next tier. The join should be straight, but could also not be. And there you have it, a pretty little Oasis ribbon, for you to embellish till the cows come home. Tomas has 3 pages of different embellishments on his How to Draw Oasis post, so here I have no excuse to dislike embellishing. Colossus then started playing with isolating a section and turning it into a grid-based pattern. By simply fragmenting the pattern, you can create 5 times as many looks by simply implementing rotation, symmetry, or translation. The first grid I'm doing is simply rotate the segment 180 degrees, giving you a pill instead of a tear. In the second row, you can either repeat the first or rotate it to give you a zigzag. By continually rotating the tile clockwise, you create a pinwheel pattern, and if you rotate them anti-clockwise, you get a funky square. My favorite one is to use symmetry. By placing the tiles reflecting each other, you get this lovely little heart pattern. Finally, if you deconstruct Oasis, you open up a whole nother can of worms. Deconstructed, the pattern can be decorative, crazy, or floral. I'm going to focus on the floral arrangement. This is achieved by arranging the teardrop fishes radially. Start by sketching out a 6-pointed star. Now cover each guide with an inward-facing tear. Now create a smaller star in the center and cover them with outward falling tears. The tops of the smaller tears should touch in the middle, but also not. Play around with moving them further out to give more variations. Lastly, join the tops of the tears to form the petals. But you could also not, yet. You could create another small variation by adding a small aura around the tips of the big tears. This method of joining big and small alternating tears creates a zigzag pattern, but also forms the basis of the crazy Oasis variation, where you play with the sizes of the tears within the ribbon. So there you have it, folks. Oasis in all its glory. There are plenty of other ways to play with it, so happy tangling! Let me know in the comments how many shots I took it, but also not. Tomorrow is the penultimate day of Inktober, and we're going 3D. So come back to see if today has finally upped my embellishment game.